Fourth graders, I'm excited to teach you a new method of division. In our last lesson, we talked about the long division method, where we did dividing, multiplying, subtracting, checking, and bringing down. Today, I'm going to introduce you to the box method, which is very similar, but it helps it stay a bit more organized. So for those of you who've struggled keeping your numbers aligned, this box method might be a good method for you. If you were to ask me, this method is my favorite, so it's easiest for me to keep my numbers organized. You will be welcome to use whichever method you feel most comfortable with and are most successful using. So let's get started. For this first example, I just want you to watch me as I show you how to do this method. Then we'll do another method where you can do it together, or with me on your notebook. Make sure you have your notebook ready to go, entitled Unit 3, Lesson 3, the box method. So let's get started with the problem 397 divided by 2. For the box method, I'm going to set it up just a little bit differently using a box. Imagine that. My box is going to have however many boxes that the number has. So I have 397. I'm going to split it into 3 boxes. And I'm going to put one number in each box, 3, 9, and 7. Then I'm going to put the divisor on the side, 2. Remember, the divisor is this number here. Now I'm going to walk through my steps just like I would in the long division method. First, I'm going to divide. How many times does 2 go into 3 without going over? Well, 2 goes into 3 one time without going over. Then I'm going to multiply. 2 times 1 is 2. Next, I'm going to subtract. 3 minus 2 is 1. Then I'm going to check. Is 1 smaller than 2? Yep, we're good. Now this is where it gets a little bit different. Instead of bringing down, I'm actually going to bring my number up. Drawing my arrow all the way up so my 9 becomes a 19. Now I'm going to work through that process again. Divide. How many times does 2 go into 19 without going over? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 is too big. I know 2 times 20 is 10, so 2 times 9 must be 18. So I'm going to put my 9 on the top. Then I'm going to multiply. 2 times 9 is 18. Next, I'm going to subtract. 19 minus 18 is 1. Then I'm going to check. Is 1 smaller than 2? Yep, we're good to go. Now instead of bringing down, we're going to bring up. My 7 becomes a 17. Then we're going to start the process over again. How many times does 2 go into 17 without going over? Thankfully, I wrote out my stuff here, and I know that 16 is where I want to be. Well, 16 times 2, or 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 8, so I've divided and multiplied. Then I'm going to put my 16 down below here so that I can subtract. 17 minus 16 is 1. Check. Is 1 smaller than 2? Yep. Now this time, just like we would the remainder, I am going to bring this up because that little one becomes my remainder. So there are so many similarities between the long division method that your parents are familiar with and the box method. Both of them work well and both of them can be successful. I like the box method because it helps me organize my numbers better. You might like it too. Or you might prefer the long division method because you're already familiar with it. Maybe a sibling has used it. Now that we've done one example together, I'd like you to do this example with me in your notebook. Notice how I did the DMSCB. That's helpful for me to remember which steps to do and when to do them. Write that on the side of your notebook now to remind yourself, divide, multiply, subtract, check. In the box method, we bring up instead of down. This next problem, let's do 4 divided by 1,983. Now I have 4 numbers in my dividend, so I'm going to make a box that has 4 sections. Do that now. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to put a number in each one of these boxes. Then my divisor, the one over here, goes to the side. Now that you have that set up, let's get started. My first step is divide. Oh no, 1 can't be divided into 4 people. What do I do? Well, it can be just 0 times, right? So dividing is 0. Then I'm going to multiply. Well, what's 4 times 0? 0. Now I'm going to subtract. 1 minus 0 is 1. Check. Is 1 smaller than 4? Yep. Now instead of bringing down, we're bringing up. My 9 becomes a 19. Now you might notice, Mrs. Holly, can I just pop this over here if I've got a 0 without doing the subtraction? Yeah, you can, but only if it's too small and it can't be divided into 4. So only if it's smaller than 4 or whatever the divisor is, can you just pop it over there. Let's do the next section now. 19 divided by 4. 4 goes into 19. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Oops, 20 is too big. So it goes in 4 times. Then I'm going to multiply. 4 times 4 is 16. Next, I'm going to subtract. 19 minus 16 is 3. Now let's check. Is 3 smaller than 4? Yeah, we're good to go. Now instead of bringing down, we're going to bring it up. Now let's go through it with 38. Let's keep counting because we need to go higher to divide 38 divided by 4. So 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Oof, 40 is too big. I know that 4 times 10 is 40, so this must be 9. So 38 divided by 4 is 9. 4 times 9 is 36. So I've divided, multiplied, now I subtract. 38 minus 36 is 2. Check, is 2 smaller than 4? Yep. Bring that up now so that I have 23. Now we're ready for our last box. Since I've already done my hard work, I can just divide 23 by 24 by using my work over here. I've got 5 there to get 20. 4 times 5 is 20. So I've divided and multiplied. Now I'm going to subtract. 23 minus 20 is 3. Then I'm going to check. Is 3 smaller than 4? Yep. Now I'm going to bring up. Since there's no more numbers, my 3 becomes my remainder. Remainder 3. 1,983 divided by 4 is 495, remainder 3. I hope you were able to follow along with me as I did that box method. Before we're done today, I want to do one more example. This time, I want you to try it by yourself and then press play to check your answer. Our problem today, our next problem, is going to be let's do 6,827 divided by 5. Pause this video now to see if you can solve this using the box method. Then press play to check your answer. Now that you've given it a try, let's see how you did. Hopefully you made a box for 6, 8, 2, and 7. Then you put your divisor on the side. Then let's get started. Hopefully You put a 1 on the top, and you subtracted. Then you brought it up. 18 divided by 5 should have been 3. 3 times 5 is 15, and that should have gotten you 3. Double check, 3 is smaller than 5. I'm good to go. 5 times 6 is 30. Then I'm subtracting, and I get 2. 2 is smaller than 5, so I can bring it up. And 5 times 5 is 25, with 2 left over. Bringing that up for my remainder 2. I went fast, but hopefully you did it before. How'd you do? Hopefully you got 1,365. The box method and the long division method all follow the Does McDonald's serve cheeseburger, but you're bringing up or bringing down. Choose the method that works best for you. Today on your homework, I'm going to ask you to try the box method just so you can familiarize yourself with it.